You know, when I was in business school, the most horrible subject of all was accounting. You know, I was sound asleep in accounting course. And on top of that, I argued with the accounting teacher because the accounting teacher had no idea what accounting was. The guy was an idiot. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad is more appropriate today because if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, this is all it's about. It's about a financial statement. Income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flow. How could it not be relevant when 99% of all people graduating from school don't even know what a financial statement is? And if they do, they probably had the same accounting teacher I had, Mr. Boring, who wasn't really an accountant. He had a master's in accountancy, but he had never been an accountant. So that's why I created the cash flow board game, because accounting is the most important subject for individuals, because this is what your banker wants to see. Your banker wants to see your financial statement. This is your report card when you leave school. If you have good financial statement, bankers will give you all the money you want. See, bankers have never asked me for my grades or my college I went through. I want to say this. You have this, they'll give you all the money you want. Point out really, really quickly the differences between what they're teaching in school and what we at Rich Dad teach. Well, this is the very big difference. Like I said, most school teachers are like my poor dad, and this was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What you're seeing here is a financial statement. You know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a book on accounting, the most boring subject on planet Earth. But book number 2 of Rich Dad was this one here. And this was called the cash flow quadrant, right? You have E, S, B, and I. So, test for you. What does E stand for?
Employee.
Good. And what do employees always say?
That they work for money.
But they want job security,
Exactly.
paycheck, and pension.
Yes.
What does S stand for?
Self-employed.
They're small business owners,
Yes.
doctors, lawyers.
They work for tips.
They work for tips now. So they're self-employed. And B stands for what?
Big business owners.
So 500 employees or more.
Yeah.
And I stands for what?
The investor.
Investor. It's more than just investor, it's insider. You see, this is like Shark Tank on the TV shows. These guys here have done this and have done this. So this was my poor dad, this side. This was Rich Dad. So the difference, that's what schools are not teaching you, is what's the difference between these people and these people. That's the big difference. And that shows up, so when I was about your age, I had to make a decision. I was a pilot. You know, most of my friends went to fly for the airlines, but I'd be here. Or I could be, I could be in Alaska flying fishermen around the place, you know, a pilot with a small plane and, flying around the place. Or I could own an airlines, or I could invest in airlines. And that's the difference in the mindsets and skill sets. You don't just make crossings. The education is extremely different on this side than on this side here. You know, I know most millennials, they want a high-paying job. They want to be able to pay the rent, eat, and all this stuff. And then you dream of the big house, a nice car, and all that. But that's why 99% of Americans are broke, because their heads are in the wrong spot. So when I asked Kim if she would take an accounting course, it was just 2 days. You know, I wanted to see if her head could get into the asset column. That was the difference, wasn't it?
Yeah, and actually, it didn't happen right at that moment, but it's.
You fell in love with me?
Of course I did. Of course I did. But this started the journey on investing. This started the journey on assets. But I do remember the moment down the road where, just like everybody else, I was focused on the income column. Get a job, get the pay raises. If you're an hourly rate wage, work more hours or raise your hourly wage. So I was always focused here. And then finally, this is after we'd actually bought some investment properties, the light finally went on, and I'm like, instead of focusing on acquiring income, what if we focus on just acquiring assets, that the assets go into the income column?
Like this.
So that was a huge shift in my mindset. And once that shift happened for me, I don't think about the income column anymore. I just think about the asset column.
And that's our game called cash flow.
Yeah.
And so when Kim and I met, we had nothing. It took us 10 years to go from nothing to financially free.
Wow.
So she was 37, I was 47. But that's the power of focusing on assets versus liability. Most people are so busy working for money, so busy trying to pay their bills, and so busy buying liabilities they think are assets. So my first gift to Kim was the accounting game to get her head in here, and today we're financially free, and it's the whole thing. So everybody can do it. It's a matter of putting your head into the right column. And then for me, it was in '73, I took my first real estate investment course here. I'm free. I lost money, it made money back. But I never got out of the asset column.
We're still practicing here every single day. I'm working on a new project right now in the asset column. It's going to put a lot of cash flow into the income column because, again, we're focusing on the asset column, not the income column.
There's three kinds of money today that you guys got to be aware of. One is God's money, and God's money is gold and silver. So this is silver, and this is gold. The reason I brought it is most people don't know what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's government money, which is fiat currency, which is the dollar, the yen, the peso, the euro, the yuan.
Yeah.
Fake. And everybody's working hard for it. It's like eating fake food or drinking fake water. That's why people are getting sick financially, because they're working for fake money.
Yeah.
And then there's fake assets, which is another part of the fake millennial, the fake generation series. But the reason I brought this here is most people haven't seen it. This here is real silver, plata. That's what it looks like. And so in 1972, and this here is gold.
Yeah.
This is God's money. This is what God's money looks like. The reason I call it God's money is you can't fake it. You know, you can fake it with a fake ETF, like a gold ETF or a silver, which I don't touch because it smells as bad as the guys that printed that crap. You know what I mean? Jesus. But this is real money. So you look at this here. When I first started buying that was $1.40. Today, that's $16. And this here is oro, gold. And the reason we brought it in is most people haven't seen or touched. This is real. This is God's money. Why did I say it's God's money? Because He was here when the earth was created. And it'll be here when we're all dead and gone. When you're saving those fake dollars, this will still be here. Or those fake ETFs, or those fake stocks. So this here is called the green box. There's 500 of these little tubes like this.
Wow.
500 coins in it. And this is one, which is worth more.
Which one's worth more? The gold.
Yeah, this is worth more than all of that. Now the reason I say this is because for your generation, this could be the biggest opportunity you'll ever see. I'm not making any commissions on this stuff. But if you look at what happened with the fake central bank, the purpose of the central bank or the Fed or all, the Japanese bank, the Bank of Japan, or the European Central Bank, they pump out fake money. The purpose of central banks like the Fed is to protect the banks, not you. They're a criminal operation as far as I'm concerned. You're going to find that most of my talks about the Fed. So I would recommend you guys buy this stuff. Don't save money. Don't save government money, because they're corrupt as hell, as you know. Save God's money. In school,